What is happening in the world of politics and health that has everyone talking? FlickPop is here to break it all down. First up, we've got Donald Trump's health chief, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., igniting a firestorm within the Republican Party over vaccines. Then, the shocking assassination of Charlie Kirk sends ripples through the political landscape, with Vice President J.D. Vance mourning a fallen friend. We're also diving deep into the growing tensions between Donald Trump and his own health secretary, RFK Jr., over chaotic management and controversial policies. And finally, we're asking the big question: why does the Supreme Court seem to be consistently backing Donald Trump, even when the rulings are controversial? Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Trump's health chief, RFK Jr., is dividing Republicans on vaccines. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s stance on vaccines is creating major friction within the Republican Party, a stark contrast to the vaccine development push during the Trump administration. 5 years ago, Donald Trump celebrated the rapid approval of the first COVID-19 vaccine, hailing it as a medical miracle and a testament to his Operation Warp Speed initiative, which he credits with saving millions of lives. However, the current political landscape is complicated by his hand-picked health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose long history of vaccine skepticism and controversial policies are now creating a significant political flashpoint. Recently, Kennedy faced intense questioning from a Senate panel regarding his department's actions, including the ousting of the CDC director after less than a month, severe limitations on COVID-19 vaccine access, and the abandonment of $500 million in mRNA vaccine research. Furthermore, Kennedy replaced all 17 members of the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices with vaccine critics, a move that has alarmed even Republicans who initially supported his appointment. His rhetoric has already influenced policy, with Florida announcing plans to lift vaccine mandates for schoolchildren, a move echoed by Dr. Mehmet Oz, who believes doctors should not face government pressure regarding vaccination schedules. This shift away from established vaccine science is concerning public health experts like Professor Margie Danchin, who warns that Kennedy's messaging undermines trust in vaccines and could lead to a resurgence of preventable diseases, citing the ongoing measles outbreak as a prime example. While the Trump administration officially maintains confidence in Kennedy, the health secretary's actions are creating a delicate balancing act for Donald Trump, who must navigate appeasing his base while addressing concerns from within his own party and the broader medical community. The situation highlights a growing divide, with Democratic states attempting to reinforce vaccine access and trust, and experts warning of the serious public health consequences of increased vaccine hesitancy. But that's not the only political drama unfolding. Stay tuned as we uncover the shocking events surrounding the assassination of Charlie Kirk and Vice President J.D. Vance's emotional tribute. Assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk shakes political world. Vice President J.D. Vance is mourning the loss of his friend, conservative influencer Charlie Kirk, who was tragically killed while speaking at Utah Valley University. Charlie Kirk, a pivotal figure in conservative politics and founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed on Wednesday while hosting one of his signature Prove Me Wrong debates. The suspect, Tyler Robinson, 22, was arrested in connection with the shooting, which occurred as Kirk was discussing the role of transgender individuals in mass shootings. Vice President J.D. Vance took to social media to share his deep sorrow and reflect on his long-standing friendship with Kirk. Vance recounted how Kirk's encouragement and support were instrumental in his own political career, from his early days as an author to his successful Senate run and eventual selection as vice president. Kirk was known for his ability to connect with people, his willingness to engage in debate, and his deep Christian faith. Vance emphasized Kirk's role in building the conservative movement, helping to staff the Trump administration, and his dedication to his family. The loss of Kirk is being felt across the political spectrum, with many remembering his passion for ideas and his commitment to open dialogue. This shocking event casts a shadow, but the political intrigue doesn't end there. Get ready as we expose the growing friction between Donald Trump and his own health secretary, RFK Jr. Trump reportedly unhappy with RFK Jr.'s chaotic health secretary tenure. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is facing internal backlash over his tumultuous leadership of federal health institutions, reportedly frustrating President Trump himself. Since Robert F. Kennedy Jr. took the helm as health secretary, the agencies under his purview have been mired in controversial policy shifts and internal turmoil. The New York Times reports that while the White House remained publicly silent on the ouster of CDC Director Susan Monterez, who had been in her role for less than a month, President Trump was displeased with the negative media attention. Furthermore, White House officials have reportedly urged Kennedy to temper his criticisms of COVID-19 vaccines. Kennedy's tenure has been marked by significant actions, including the cancellation of $500 million in grants for mRNA vaccine research, which critics argue are based on misinformation, and the controversial replacement of the entire CDC Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices with vaccine skeptics, despite a prior promise not to make such changes. These actions have drawn sharp criticism from senators, including Dr. Bill Cassidy, who has questioned the consistency of Kennedy's views, particularly after Kennedy praised Trump's Operation Warp Speed while simultaneously amplifying vaccine safety concerns. While most Republican senators confirmed Kennedy, a significant number of Democrats have called for his resignation, citing public health risks. Health professionals are increasingly concerned that Kennedy's policy decisions, which they note are not based on formal medical or scientific training, are steering vital institutions away from established scientific consensus. Despite these concerns and reports of rising tensions, a White House spokesman reiterated their full confidence in Kennedy and their shared commitment to the Make America Healthy Again agenda. But the controversies surrounding the Trump administration's dealings don't stop with health policy. Prepare yourself as we question the Supreme Court's consistent backing of Donald Trump. Supreme Court's consistent backing of Trump raises alarms. An experienced lawyer is questioning the Supreme Court's recent rulings, suggesting a pattern of deference to Donald Trump that raises serious concerns about the rule of law. George F. Gallen, Jr., a lawyer with 52 years of experience, is sounding the alarm over a series of Supreme Court decisions that appear to consistently favor Donald Trump, even when the rulings are controversial and lack clear explanation. He points to a recent decision allowing aggressive immigration stops in Los Angeles based on ethnicity and socioeconomic status as a prime example of the court's shadow docket rulings with immediate, damaging consequences. Gallen speculates that at least 4 justices may be influenced by personal resentments towards Democrats, citing their past confirmations and political beliefs. However, he also identifies other factors at play for all 6 justices, including a perceived lack of empathy for the human cost of Trump's policies, an authoritarian streak that favors a strongman leader, and a tendency to invent legal doctrines to dismantle policies they dislike while ignoring them to support Trump. Gallen notes the court's use of the major questions doctrine to block Biden administration initiatives while granting Trump broad authority, even on issues like tariffs and executive power. He also suggests some justices may be acting out of fear that Trump would ignore rulings against him, a dangerous precedent that has historically led to negative outcomes. The article concludes with a strong indictment of the justices for what the author views as a failure to uphold the rule of law and a betrayal of their judicial responsibilities. These are complex issues with far-reaching implications. Now, let's quickly recap the biggest stories of the day and what you need to know. And that's a wrap on today's top stories. We saw Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. creating divisions within the Republican Party over vaccine policy, a shocking development in the political world with the assassination of Charlie Kirk and Vice President J.D. Vance's heartfelt tribute, and mounting reports of tensions between Donald Trump and RFK Jr. over his controversial management of health institutions. Finally, we questioned the Supreme Court's consistent rulings in favor of Donald Trump. Don't miss out on any of the crucial updates shaping our world. Make sure you're subscribed to FlickPop hit that notification bell, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Follow us on all social media platforms for more exclusive content.